Peace, y'all. Before we get started, I felt compelled to remind everyone to stay safe and stay abreast of all the atrocities happening around the world. The people of Palestine, Tigray, Congo, Sudan, Haiti, and countless other territories are currently fighting for their rights and their lives. And if you're choosing to take action, please take every precaution you can. Stay hydrated, stay in groups, cover your face, and please, more than anything, don't lose hope. I've been leaving links to organizations and resources at the bottom of every episode description for a good minute, so please go check those out for places to donate and to find ways to take action today. We're not free until all oppressed people in the States and abroad are free. Much love, stay strong, and stay dangerous. What's good, y'all? My name is Dylan Green, and this is Real Notes, a space dedicated to blurring the cultural and artistic lines between rap and film. I'm here to chop it up with everyone from rappers and producers to journalists and video directors about their relationship to movies and how, if at all, film inspires their craft. My guest this week is New York producer, engineer, and 1/9 of Mutant Academy, E1. We spoke about the Wayans Bros show, King of the Hill, Ray, The Pianist, our respective G-Unit and Dipset phases, having hip-hop parents, the creative process behind beat tapes like his Aux Tapes series in '73, and some words about the upcoming Mutant Academy album, Keep Holly Alive. Come fuck with us. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to what's today? Sunday. It's a Sunday. It's a nice little Sunday edition of Real Notes. I'm full of food. Or no, I'm not full of food. I ate like a proper amount of food today. I ate late, but I ate a proper amount of food. Feeling good. It's kind of rainy, but I'm Dylan Green, CineMasai. Got a lot of names, do a lot of shit outside, inside, all sides, everywhere. And I'm with somebody else who he's a lot of places. There are like sometimes where I don't know he'll be somewhere, and then I'll just run into him somewhere and just
that happens a lot.
Like all this, like he's a sneaky one, but in the best possible way. I can't remember when I first tapped in with him specifically, but I've had eyes on him for at least like the last like 4 or 5 years. Been just, I don't know, like fucking Virginia producer, member of Mutant Academy, avid simulator. No, he's not an avid simulator player, but
don't do me like that.
I won't. I promise.
And I'm from New York, man. I'm from New York.
You're from
no Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, no Virginia.
Damn.
All the homies from Virginia. We could start it. We could redo it if you want to.
Nah. I'm keeping it raw. It's E1. E1's here. Yeah, I'm owning my mistakes. Owning my mistakes.
It's all good. That's how you know I need to be louder about the New York shit.
Yeah, come on, man.
It's all the Mutant Academy friends, man. It's their fault. I think I've been to Richmond like twice in my life. Like, yeah, and it's a weird. It feels like a big college town.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I got what's it called? My big sister lives down in Alexandria, which is kind of like near Petersburg. So like that whole area, she lives right near Virginia State. So
Word.
like that's a college town. So
yeah, that's basically like my whole. When I went down there, motherfuckers had the little show. The venue was next to VCU or whatever, whatever the college is down there. I forget the name of it. But it feels like a big ass college town. It's weird.
Yeah, like that's like like that, and just like Petersburg. I talked to Henny about this before because I told him my sister lived near Petersburg, and he was like, she lives near Petersburg. Like he got like super like damn, like
they know all the little like intricacies about the places out there, like North Side, South Side, Lynchburg, Petersburg. There's all kind of burgs.
Yeah, that's a lot of burgs in Virginia.
But yeah, I gotta go back. I thought Anakin just came back from Virginia not too long ago.
Crazy. But E, thank you so much for being here, man.
Of course, bro. Come on.
Nah, like
thanks for having me, bro.
Nah, man, it's for real my pleasure. We were just talking about it off camera, but the last time I saw you was at Damo Genesis show, Brooklyn. It was like it was like late February because Anakin was opening, and I ran into you and we talked for a bit, and you were like, I want to come on. And I'm like, we'll make it happen. And it's been 6 months. but we made it happen.
Yes, sir. I feel like the last time I saw you before that I remember, I think was Anakin at Public Records, if
Yeah,
I'm
him
not
and Morph.
mistaken. Yes. So yeah, man. Always, like you said, it's always like a sneaky little be in the spot. See my man Dylan, like what up, you know.
Every
But
time,
nah,
bro.
of
Yeah,
course, of
nah,
course.
no, yeah, no. Like I'm real happy to have you here. You've been going crazy, just like not even with your Mutant Academy stuff, but like you just put out, or I mean, like the most recent Aux tape came out last year, but you got like 6 of those. You got drum kits, like there's so much to fucking talk about. So,
Hell yeah, you
um,
gotta keep it moving, you know.
yeah, yeah, I've heard that,
Hands
but
in all pots at all
yeah, man,
times.
gotta
Stirring.
be, you know,
Stirring.
we're we're tired out here, but we're stirring, you know.
Come on. Come on. So
Shit. Well, let me ask you the first question I ask everybody who comes on here, which is what was the last movie or TV show you watched that you had a strong opinion about?
I've been watching Wayans Bros
Like the
with
old show?
yeah, with my shorty. A lot of shit that you cannot get away with now. Like we started it from the beginning, like from the first season. It's just like, yo, it's mad. It's just so many like just I don't know, just cruddy jokes. You're like, ah, shit, this is funny, but it gets better. Like we're at the second
Yeah.
season now, and it gets better. You're like, all right, now we're getting into like the actual writing. It's not just motherfuckers like just kind of making this group of people feel bad about themselves for a second.
Right.
But shit, I've been watching Wayans Bros. Um, shit, I always watch King of the Hill. That's like my
Uh-huh.
comfort show. That's my
Really?
comfort show. Yeah, that's my comfort show right there. That shit is bound to be on at least once or twice a week for surely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
there been a actually let me start with the Wayans Bros. So I used to watch it a lot as a kid. I haven't gone back and done the rewatch yet, but recently me and my partner we just watched Scary Movie 3, which I don't know if Keenan Ivory Wayans was involved with Scary Movie 3.
I
I
think
don't
that
remember.
was the one. I think that was the one when they kind of like they weren't a part of. Were they? I'm not. We were just talking about it. Like all us, all of the mutant homies. We were just talking about that shit about the third one. Cause like, Wu Tang's in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, is somebody. I think the Lock. Somebody else is in there. I'm not too
so
sure.
shit, I know exactly the scene you're talking about. So it's most of Wu-Tang. I think it's Method Man, Redman, who's not a
Right.
part of Wu-Tang, but like might as well be. He's in it. Macy Gray is in that scene for no fucking reason. That was the
She's
scene that
mad
kind of
funny, yo. That's why, cause she's like funny as hell. Like she's funny.
and Master P is in it too. Like
That's what I was thinking of.
they just got hella people in there, and then they all like shoot themselves dead, and then the aliens show up. Movie's wild.
Man, yeah. Shout out to the Wayans family.
Yeah, because
Talented
like
folks.
I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I think Keenan Ivory like created the Scary Movie franchise. I think, or at least he
Word,
like wrote and directed it. I don't remember, like one of them two.
word.
But
That makes sense.
but I wanna, but you saying that I like like I'll see it on a service and be like, I want to start the Wayans Brothers show, and then I never do, and then I
It's
fall into
on
one of
Max.
okay, because I always fall into one of my I got like 4 comfort shows. Like I'm like a Simpsons, Futurama, occasion
Word.
like Simpsons, Futurama, American Dad, and the Bernie Mac show. Those are my 4.
Okay, word,
You know,
word, word. I guess if I had to do like another one, it'd probably be like Golden Girls. Like Golden Girls is another like comfort show for me.
Golden Girls is tight.
Yeah. It's funny to say that, like to say out loud, I guess, but that's my
Hey
shit.
man,
Yeah, I've never thought about it as being like a comfort show. You know, I'm like,
right?
I would definitely just put that shit on if I'm not doing anything. I don't know what the fuck to watch. Um, yeah,
That's
that's shit.
hilarious.
I couldn't even think of one more if I really had to.
Yeah, no, you don't even gotta like they just those all just popped into my head like
Word.
for a quick second because you were talking about comfort shows. But talk to me about King of the Hill because like that's a show that I didn't start to appreciate until I got like I might have started really fucking with it like at the end of college.
Word.
And then I did like a pretty, I didn't watch the whole thing front to back, but I think I watched like, it was like a good chunk of it from like season 3 to season 8 or something. So like, talk to me
Word.
about your relationship with King of the Hill, because that's a good one.
It's definitely like the same relationship. Like I ain't getting to that shit until I don't know, later, probably out of high school too. And it's just like you get the humor more as you go through life, I guess, like because you just
Yeah.
deal with shit. Like he has like a kind of his neighbor's Laotian,
Yep.
so like they're all like kind of weird when he gets to the block in the early seasons, and it's just like shit like that. Like I'll be like, all right, I feel that. Like that's funny as hell. Like I definitely remember being around the other kind, like when we first moved, and being like, oh shit, like I know they don't fuck with me here. This is weird. So that's like, it's just certain shit you get like when you older. And then like the son just goes through his little like coming of age shit, and you're like, oh man, like I remember that. Like I totally remember that. And there's just a lot of goofy shit that happens in the show that like carries over to the other seasons, like that I like. It's one of it's one of those. It's a show with a plot, basically. So
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah, nah. It's so much fun. Like I also love everything between like Hank and Bobby, like they're kind of, like them just kind of like butting heads. And like I know the show ends with them finally finding one thing. Like Bobby just like takes up grilling for some reason, and like
Yeah,
the two of them just like fall in love with that. And like I think one of the last moments is just them like grilling together, and Hank being like, "You're all right, kid." And I don't
yeah.
know, like it's
Nah,
it's
that's
like
fun
it's like
shit.
out there and weird and wholesome. I'm thinking about the episode where Hank's dad winds up he has a I think Hank has a half brother who's Japanese
Oh yeah,
or
yeah,
something, and
yeah,
they
yeah.
and
Like,
they go
yo,
over to find him.
come on. It's certain shit like that that's just hilarious. And then his whole father's character is
Yeah.
just like it offsets the normalness of the show. Like the show is mostly normal until like his father pulls up and he's like, I have like
Yeah,
no shins.
Cotton Hill is something else,
I have
man.
no shins. Like I'm fucking I'm just mad rambunctious. Like I have a young wife. Like I just had a kid. It's like there's mad shit with his character that's just like an offshoot from the actual show. That's perfect.
Yeah, he really is just like the stereotypical like boomer white dude in his like 70s and 80s. One of my favorite scenes in the I just said how I only was watching like seasons 3 through 8, but one of my favorite scenes is like the one where he dies, and like him and Hank have that moment where he's like, Hank tells him he loves him, and he's just like being like the macho man about it, and then he's just like, but I don't love you, and then he just
Ties.
dies.
Yo, come on, like that show is great, man. That show is great. So that shit is bound to be on like at least twice a week for sure. I've definitely seen it probably twice, like the whole shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's my joint. That's my joint. That's my joint.
Damn, they're bringing it back, or they're trying to.
Yeah, yeah, but somebody passed away. I think it's like Dale's voice. Somebody really important. Like the voice
Um,
actor passed away.
it's two people. Luann's voice actress passed away.
Oh, of
Brittany
course, of
Murphy.
course.
She
R.I.P.
passed.
Brittany Murphy.
She passed like, damn. It's been like a decade. So it was
Yeah.
her, and I think Lucky. I think Lucky's voice actor passed away
Okay.
too,
Okay.
which is sad. So like it's like you could do it without Luann and Lucky, but like I don't know. I think Luann and Lucky brought like Luann by herself just feels like a weird thing to not have. But
Yeah.
like Luann and Lucky, like their whole dynamic changed up over the course of the season of the series, and
She would have to finally
I'm
get her shit together and like move out. Like
yeah
that would be the only like maybe like you could all shoot it that way. But yeah, shit. I'm nervous for that shit, man, because
yeah
you know how that goes. You know, you know how that
yeah,
goes.
bro. It could be either it's either gonna be great or terrible. Like I can't imagine anything in the middle. Like they just brought Futurama back, and they like it. Futurama's been, in its defense, it's been brought back like 3 times, and the first two times it came back, it was great. They should have left it dead, bro.
Word.
They're making NFT and crypto jokes, bro. I want to go home. Get me out of here.
I gotta tap in because I used to love Futurama when I was a kid. Like the whole like premise of that shit is funny, but
yeah, bro.
I haven't tapped into the new joint.
Yeah, that whole like I want to say the first 4 seasons of Future, like really like seasons 2, 3, and 4 of Futurama are some of my favorite television ever. I love Futurama. Like that's like I could watch it like that's a show I could watch that front to back. Like if that was the only thing I could watch for the rest of my life, I'd be straight. I'm so fine.
I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all.
But let's run it all the way back with you with watching shit. What's the first movie experience you can remember having? It could be at the theater, it could be at your cousin's house. Like it doesn't have to be the very first one, but yeah.
This is a good one, and this always stays on my mind because I love my parents. I remember they got Baby Boy from Blockbuster. And like how my room was set up with the living room, like my shit was right next to the living room, like when we lived in Mount Vernon. I'm from Mount Vernon, New York. Shout out to Pete Rock and Heavy D
and Mary J.
And, nah, she's from Yonkers.
Oh, she's from Yonkers.
Yonkers is like the Locks, DMX.
Right.
Shit, I could probably think of some other graffiti artists and shit. US crew. Yo, boom. My room was right in front of the living room. So like I remember they got it and it was like, yo, probably took me somewhere and got me something to like make me stay in my room. Like, yo, stay in your room. We're chilling out here. Like, don't come outside your room. We're watching a movie. And I just remember being so like not having that shit. Like I was like, yo, every like 30 fucking maybe 20 minutes I'm coming out of the room like, can I have a yo, just some of the shit I remember seeing, like I was like, yo, I get why they was like, yo, please stay in your room. Do not come outside. We're watching an adult movie. It's not an adult movie, but it's an adult movie. Please stay inside.
Right, yeah.
But then, you know, you get older and I'm like, yo, Baby Boy is like, it's a terrifying movie, dog. Like, shit is terrifying. Like, it's not a life that I would want my child to even like experience.
Hell no.
From the jump, because that's just a lot of struggle going on. Like, so shout out to my parents for being fucking good parents. They're like, stay in your fucking room. Please don't come out of your room. And I couldn't. I was very inquisitive.
You walk out. you walk out at the scene where Ving Rhames is cooking eggs naked.
My nigga Melvin running all around the room like, dog, it was horrible.
Yo, that movie's crazy.
I did it to myself. It's like you did it to yourself, dog. They're trying to be parents, dog.
You see, and that's so funny. It's so funny that you said that because I was like, that has to be the scene that you walked out on. That's hilarious.
Walked out on a couple of them. Like I remember when you had all the niggas lined up and shit. It was like about the night.
They beat them in the park.
Yeah, like I came out on that scene. I remember, but like it's just one of those memories just sticks in my mind. I you know, it won't go away. So
what was for real? What was Tyrese's friend's name? The dude who's like, you got heart. I'm not gonna punch you in your face because you got heart.
I forget his name in the movie, but his character in that movie is just crazy. Like they was just both ain't shit ass niggas. Like he came to the I just remember he came to the crib and they was like cooking food and he was yelling some shit about females. Like that movie is just so bad. Like everything about that movie is just horrible. It's struggle. You don't want to watch that movie if you're impressionable. So
yeah. But so it's crazy because I talked to a lot of homies about it, like especially like within the last like 2-3 years, there's been like between me and between like maybe kind of sort of like critics or what, there's been like a reappraisal of Baby because like to me it's a great movie. Like it's a really good
Yeah.
like it's a good movie, got a great story, really well acted, great score. You know, like what's it called? Tyrese and Taraji, their
Yeah.
chemistry is great. You know, like just like and like Snoop's in it, and like everything with Melvin. Like there's a lot. Like it's a really good movie, but there's just like it's I don't know if real's the right word, but it's definitely like
It's a
it.
great depiction of like early 20s, late 20s, like living in the hood, like without like the guns and the drugs and like just the other side of that shit, which is like it's great.
Right.
It's really genius when you think about it that way, because like so many times has like that's been done so many times. Like how many times
Yeah.
could we say like fucking California young man, which way does he go? Like
Right.
this is
Like
like,
Menace, Boys in the Hood, like
you
that type of
feel
shit.
me?
Yeah.
There's a colors, like there's a couple, like
Colors. Yeah.
there's a couple, and it's like shit. What's the other one? Oh my god, what's the one with OG Bobby Johnson? Why is my mind not
Oh,
working
fucking
right
South
now?
Central. South
South
Central.
Central, love that
Yeah.
movie. But it's like
Yeah.
there's
Great
so
movie.
many, bro. He was like, all right, he's definitely still from the hood, like he definitely still has that around him. But it's like the whole what he's going through is completely and utterly different. But it's something that you would still
Yeah.
see if you lived in the hood. Like you're definitely still gonna see that. So great movie, honestly. You know, great
Yeah.
movie,
It's like
good depiction.
like I don't want to be hyperbolic or anything, but I've been waiting for like a Criterion re-release of Baby Boy. Like
Word.
I would buy it immediately. They just put Cooley High in the Criterion collection. Like I would take a Baby Boy. Like
Yeah,
please make it
yeah.
happen, somebody.
Coolie High is another one. Like I remember my parents watching that shit when I was younger, and like all the scenes that I just remember all, like the catch up scene and like just certain like when they when they get out of class like early, and like I just remember all of that. And then when I got older and I watched that movie, it just hit so much differently. I was like, man, this is such
Yeah,
a good movie. Like I love Coolie High.
like like Cochise, Cochise dying at the end because my story is a little weirder. So I never got the chance to watch Cooley High until I saw the Criterion re-release because I couldn't like it was hard to find. Like you really had to
Word.
like it was like they never did a well, I don't want to say they never did like an official release, but it was like I could never find one. I would hear stories about it. It gets referenced in songs all the time. So like
Mm-hmm.
eventually I'm like, oh, this Cooley High movie. Like there's a group out of North Carolina called Cooley High. So I'm like, you know, I look into it and I'm like, oh, it's a movie too. And you know, like the really special thing about the Criterion re-release is that they kept all the because like the whole for anybody who doesn't know, the whole soundtrack of the movie is nothing but like classic 60s doo-wop R&B hits. Like
Word.
every stereotypical like R&B doo-wop song you could think of the era is on the soundtrack, and a lot of the home video releases didn't have them because you know like they were I don't think they like got the rights
Yeah,
properly, but there was
that's
also
money.
like a
That's bread. That's
exactly, bro.
super bread.
And I was watching they included a behind the scenes thing. Like they made the movie at a time when they hadn't when like music copyright was a little looser. So like
Mm.
when it aired originally, they were able to show the songs in the movie no problem, but in like later versions they couldn't because of course they were like that's bread, like run us our money right now.
Yeah,
And like a
yeah.
lot of them they either had to like change the music out or just remove it entirely. And the Criterion version, like they managed to pay, like I don't know how they did it, but like all the original songs as they were intended are in the movie.
Fire,
And
fire.
it's I don't know, it just that made me happy to see. It's like that's one of those I can tell like I'm gonna watch that like at least once twice a year as
Come
like a
on.
film
Keeps
type
it,
shit.
it keeps it how it's supposed to be, man. It's like I think another movie like that that's kind of been, I don't want to say ruined for me because of the TV versions, but like I still love it. But like Juice,
Yeah.
like Juice is my shit. Like I could watch that movie a million times, but it's like all of the bad TV dubs and like some of the stuff, it's just made it like a joke to me, and it's not like it's not a joke. It's a great movie. It's like
Right.
it's a great movie, but some of the dubs have just made it a joke. So
So I'm assuming you've seen it on I'm assuming you've seen like a BET cut
of
of
course,
Juice.
Of course, a million times, like throughout
Oh
so
my
many
god.
sections of my life. Like, so yeah,
Li-
man.
Yo, like that, and what was the other one that I hate watching? Like now I don't know why I'm thinking in fours. There's like four movies I always think of when I think of like a BET censored cut. There's Juice, there's Poetic Justice. The Poetic Justice BET cut is like that's like it almost turns it into a completely different kind of movie. So it's
Right.
those two. Soul Food has a horrible BET cut.
Soul Food, I don't think I've ever even seen. Yo, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think I've ever even seen Soul Food as intended because of
Oh
that. Like, for
man,
real, for real. I don't think I've ever seen it as intended. Yeah.
that's
Now that you
hilarious.
say that, yeah.
And the other one is Baby Boy.
Right.
I've seen Baby Boy on BET. Like that might have been the first way I saw it because like I either saw Baby Boy on it was either on BET or like maybe it was on like Stars or like one of the premium movie. Like I saw it both ways at
Word.
that time, but yeah, like the anybody who doesn't know, BET cuts like BET still does it to this day. They'll like air movies, classic movies, and like they'll just make it as like G-rated as possible. So like they'll be like they're swapping out like niggas with brothers and fucks with like whatever. They'll just find it's like those Orbit gum commercials where they would have people's mouth be so clean that they wouldn't curse, and they'd be calling people like
Facts.
lint lickers and shit. Like,
Facts. Facts. Like just the worst words. Like just as long as the syllables work, they're gonna
yeah.
put a word there.
And the
Yeah.
dub is terrible. Like the lips don't match. It's incredible. It's so good.
What a time. What a time. They made up for it with like 106 in Park and fucking
Yeah.
Rap City and all that
Rap
shit. But
City and shit. Yeah.
Jesus. Jesus. Why did they do us like that?
Yeah, bro. I don't know. Like I don't know. It never really seemed worth it to me because people like, it's just like it just turns it into like a riff tracks type thing where it's like what made you go with that word? Like, why are we doing this?
They're like, yo, this is the only movie. These are the only four movies that we can think of that will explain us. We have to change them so that they can fit for TV.
God, man, I
By
can't
any
even.
means necessary. Like, we will. Yeah. Nah, that shit was. Now that like I'm thinking about it, I'm like it's in my mind. I'm like thinking about the Juice one. Like, you ain't never gonna be spit. You never was spit.
and, and as soon as I don't think you're gonna be spit,
like yeah, that shit is crazy. Oh my god.
Jesus, bro. Like it's crazy because I was re-listening to Aux Tape Volume 6. And I think on the second song there's the clip of Raheem in the store, and he's just like, yeah, I want the new EPMD and your name and phone number. Like,
yeah,
that
come on.
that made me
That
smile,
that
man.
whole that whole movie is just a great time. It seems like until it's not. Like it's just homies go to the record store, like eating together and shit, and this shit changes immediately.
Yeah.
It's a good
Like
one, man.
honestly, like the last like half of Juice is a horror movie.
Yeah, it is.
Like like Bishop might as well be a slasher. Like it's like I've had this I might have even had this conversation on the pod before. I've definitely talked about it to like homies in the world and shit, but like yo, like that movie is a fucking horror movie.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it gets like kind of scary, especially like it's funny to think about in hindsight, but like the scene where Bishop and Omar Epps are in the elevator, and like he's like, "Oh, you're gonna shoot me in the elevator?" And he pulls the gun out and he shoots. Like that's horrifying, bro.
Like actually scared in the middle of the party, like in the middle of the party, like
on a mission, bro. Like
come
that's like
on, man.
damn,
Yeah.
wow. See, it's been long enough that it might be time for me to rewatch Juice. It might be time.
Yeah, come on. It's one of those ones. For me, it's at least once a year. At least once a year.
Yeah. It's been longer for me, but I think I gotta fix that. excuse me. So
Bless
like as you thank you. So as you get older and you start to have more life experiences, like develop your taste and palate and shit. What was there like I like to think of these as like capital M movies, like a type of movie that like you watch and it kind of hits you a little deeper than just like 90 minutes of entertainment, like something that really connects with you in like an artistic or emotional or spiritual way. Like, what was the first capital M movie you can remember
you.
seeing?
Damn, you're the pianist.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Good movie, bro. That shit had me, you know, emotional. I was like, all right, this is good art. This is making me feel something. Because I'm not even like that kind of movie watcher. Like my shorty is kind of like she's the one that's like, yo, you should probably watch more than 7 movies. Like let's try to, But that was one that I watched like before we met, and I was like, this is a good movie. This is not on my regular like hood movie or just like regular hip hop movie
Of
shit.
course.
And I was like, all right, I like this. I like this a lot.
What pulled you in that direction? What made you check it out?
I guess the music aspect of it for sure, because I was just like, okay, I'm interested, and then I just ended up being kind of emotionally drawn to it, and I was like, all right, this is yeah, this is making me feel something. Like that's really it, Because now that I'm thinking about it, bro, I haven't watched that movie, but probably twice. Should try to run it again.
Yeah. See,
That's a good one.
I don't remember when I first saw The Pianist. That's the one with Adrian Brody, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. It's been a I might have watched it like right after he won the Oscar for it. And I remember really enjoying it, but I never went back to it just because I don't know why. I just, sometimes you just move past. And I'm happy you brought up that like, like maybe, like having those like that like handful of like these are my movies. Cause I'm realizing like as I get older, I'm always trying to watch whatever's like I'm in the theater all the
Nah, I
time.
be
Like,
keeping up. You be on your
yeah.
review shit. You be on your yeah, your name. Like I be keeping up. So
I be trying. Yeah, yeah. No, we talk about him a lot, which I appreciate. By the way, it always makes me happy to like talk to like you or anyone about any of that shit. That's just like
word,
that's my lifeblood. But like I got my 7 or not 7, but like I have my handful that if I was on a desert, I have my desert island movies. If
word,
I could have like 10, I definitely have 10 movies that if I didn't feel the need, you give me those and I'm cool forever, you know?
word.
So yeah, I
Oh
get
yeah,
that. Yeah, no, it could be hard to move out of that. But oh yeah, I wanted to say, for me, I had that moment with The Pianist when I first saw the Ray Charles movie that Jamie Foxx is
word,
in. my
word.
dad my dad took me, my sister, and my friends and neighbors at the time to go see that when it first dropped. um I don't know, like I knew I knew a handful of Ray Charles songs. I knew like Hit the Road Jack basically, and that was it. But like, because the movie came out in like '04, so I must have been like 12. But like, just like seeing like the arc of his life and hearing all the music, like I was obsessed with Ray Charles for like 6 months. Like I
Crazy.
went and he because he put out that it was like right before he died. He put out that album Misery. I think it was called like Misery Loves Company or something, that was like all like duets. So like I was
Hmm.
like really into that project and just like watching the arc of his life, and of course like the scene where his brother drowns in the bathtub. It's
They
just
do a
really,
great job of like not. It moves quickly, but it doesn't feel like it glosses over anything. You know,
right. It's
like
it's
that's a good one, bro.
Yeah, man.
All
Like
the
that.
like all the drug detox scenes too. Like I remember when I first watched that shit, I was just like super like shit made me feel gross, man. I gotta close
Yeah.
that. This motherfucking Anakin. Frank, man. Hold on, Frank.
Oh no, we gotta apologize to Frank later. That's funny. Um, but nah, man. Fucking. like between that and like the detox scenes in particular, like with him playing chess in the room and just like his relationships with his like singers and like all the like I don't know. There's a lot of different types of things. Like you see every from what I can understand, at least like every part of like the type of person he was. Like it wasn't too like they didn't make him look like a fucking saint or anything. Like
at
they
all, at
which
all. And a lot of biopics will do that, you know, because
yeah,
public appearance, families
yeah.
involved. There's a lot of things that go into that. So it's like to be able to put the mirror on someone who's a star like that and show, because I want. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like I wanted to bring up like Miles Ahead and shit, but I'm like, they don't do a great job there.
Nah,
Like
they don't.
like they do there. Like they don't. There's really no correlation. I mean, a little bit. You kind of get to see a little bit of the person that he was, but it's like, it's public fucking knowledge.
Yo, my fault. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to shout out the all new Real Notes Patreon page real quick. If you're looking for ways to connect and directly support the podcast, the Real Notes Patreon is the best way to do so. For as little as $5 a month, you can gain early day before access to every forthcoming episode of Real Notes, as well as an invite to the Real Notes Discord server, where you can talk to others about the latest and greatest in movies and music, come through for some listening sessions, and talk about whatever else is on your mind. I know I'm gonna be talking a bunch. If you feel like coming up off a little bit more, you could get cool exclusive content like audio from Real Notes Live and Real Talk interviews. Those will be exclusive to patrons and ticket holders moving forward. Access to retro versions of my 60-second Minute Maid movie reviews, and even a monthly writing and podcasting workshop hosted by me. Regular episodes will still be available on a weekly basis anywhere you get your podcasts, but if you want the extras, you gotta come out them pockets a bit. Check us out at patreon.com/realnotes. That's REELNOTES. I appreciate your consideration and support more than you know. Now let's get back to talking.
Really, like everyone kind of knows this by now. We've all read the book, you know what I mean? So, but yo, the Ray Charles movie does a great job of not making that shit seem like he's a saint. You know what I mean? And showing the trials and shit that he goes through to be who we think he is,
Right, which is crazy because like he was a consultant on that movie. Like him and Jamie like worked together to like figure because of course like most people didn't realize Jamie Foxx was already a musician. People were like, oh, because I think Jamie Foxx put out that he put out what the fuck's the album called? I think it's called Unpredictable, the one that has like Unpredictable and I was once again obsessed with that album when it came out, but like people didn't realize that he already had like he played piano for years. He had albums already, so like that was like that movie kind of put him on Front Street in a way that like transcended like the Jamie Foxx show and all the other shit he was doing at the time. And like he like rode that goodwill for like 10 years and then did Django. And then rode that goodwill for 10 years, like it was. And anyway, I'm getting off track.
Nah, Ray, but that right there is the telltale sign of a classic movie. Like, not to say he wasn't an actor before that, because he was, but it's like right then and there in that moment, everyone was like, okay, he played the shit out of that role. Like, this is Jamie Foxx. Like, what else could he do?
Exactly. The reason I know is like after Ray, he could have made 6 booty calls. He could have made 6 more booty calls and been fine.
Come on. Like, man, yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might just gotta make a list because I'm like, damn, I haven't watched a good movie in a minute.
Yeah,
might just gotta run Ray.
You got to start with booty call though. Like start there and move down.
That's a fact. So
that movie is I'm going off track, but there was so I feel like I talked about him before, but there's a dude on YouTube. His name's Moses Prim. He has a channel called Prim's Hood Cinema. It's one of my favorite movies. Like he just goes through hood classics and does like recaps and reviews. And
I feel did what somebody who was here and they put him on here because but go ahead. I'll be getting this shit. I know who you talking about.
Yo, I literally I was just watching. He did one on Antoine Fisher. I just watched it yesterday.
Yo, thank you, dog. See, you good. You're good. You're good. Because Antoine Fisher is another movie that was like my parents took me to go see. And
Damn,
like
how old were you when you saw Antoine Fisher?
I had to be like 9 or 10.
That's fucked up.
Had to be. But like I kind of thank them though, because y'all's a great story. Like
Yeah, it is.
that's a great story, bro. Like,
That's just
oh
sad as hell
man,
though. But I get it.
sad as
It's a
shit. So sad. So sad. But yeah, I had to be like 9 or 10.
damn. Wow, that's wild. I can't imagine taking my 9 or 10-year-old to see. Like, I get why. Like, it makes sense. It's just funny to think about that because it's like that movie's a lot. Like
Yeah.
actually, you see, I wasn't even that much older when I first saw it because my dad had this huge DVD collection and he would just like buy them and never open them. So like half the shits was like still in the plastic, and one of them was Antoine Fisher. So that was how I first saw it. Like I just pulled it and yeah, just watched it. I had to have been in like middle school, like maybe early high school.
Come on, bro. I don't even think I was like, I was going to middle school, like 5th or 6th grade type shit. Like, yeah. That was
okay. But he did one on Booty Call, and it reminded me there's a scene about halfway through Booty Call where it's Jamie Foxx and I think Vivica. Yeah, Jamie and Vivica Fox. It's like a sex scene and she's like, because like Jamie Foxx was like real good at impressions like at that time, like that's what everyone knew him for. There's a scene where like they're about to get it on and she specifically says like, I love it when a man knows how to do impressions, and it's just like all right, like you could tell they wrote that in to be like, yeah, Jamie does the impressions, we gotta. So they're going at it and Son's like talking like Martin Luther King. It's y'all gotta go watch Booty Call. if like anybody here who's like a little younger than us, go find. It's terrible, but go find Booty Call. it's definitely one for the time caps.
That shit might be on Tubi right now.
I guarantee it. I put money on it being on Tubi
right now for surely.
Oh shit, man. That movie is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
like, that's like such a
what time? That's like 90. Am I right? It's like late 90s. It's like
late 90s.
Some shit like that.
Let me check. It had to have been like
because I just remember Jamie Foxx funny ass hair. Like he had that funny ass hair in that movie.
Yeah, he had the Travis Scott 1.0. It's like the real short.
It's like the fade with the braids on top, or like a curly down on top. I forget what it was.
But you're right. It's 97. Yeah, Booty Call was 97.
Yeah,
that was like such a specific era of like really just like black romantic comedies like at that time, like it, because there was like such a spectrum of them between like that and like The Best Man. I'm a sucker for The Best Man. I love The Best Man movies. I love them so much. I don't know why either.
I've never even tapped in. Never tapped in. I gotta keep it a buck. I never tapped in.
So like obviously it's not Booty Call, but like they're just like it's just like your average like romantic dramedy where it's like a bunch of friends. Like one of them like they're all kind of sort of successful, and one of them's about to get married, and it's just like drama, romance, comedy. Like there's a I forget. I think it's from the second one, The Best Man Holiday. There's one of my favorite memes of all time is just like it's fucking Terrence Howard and what the fuck is his son's name? Taye Diggs. Terrence Howard and Taye Diggs around, and like it's a really sad scene. He's like kind of opening his heart up to him, and Terrence Howard just kind of looks at him for 7 seconds and just goes, "Do you need some money?" It's like every once in a while, like somebody will like say some bullshit and just like share the clip of Terrence Howard being like, "Do you need some money?"
Shit making me think of The Wood, man. The Wood is like if I'm gonna do like
exactly
that, wedding comedy dramedy type thing. Like
Exactly.
The Wood is my shit. I love
I
that
love The
movie
Wood.
so much. I love that movie so much.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, I think you know the first Hood cinema I ever saw was his video on The Wood. So yeah,
Word. Word.
that's funny you brought that up.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
good one.
shit. Anyway, music. Let's do the same thing with music. When did music become capital M music for you? Like when did it go like not even in terms of like making it, but just in terms of you being fascinated by it, like going from like you really like locking in like this is music. Like I love this.
50 Cent, G-Unit. Like
Sounds
I
about
remember,
right.
like of course there's a bunch of like Nas and like there's a couple things that predate my interest before that, but like just seeing how he did it, the clothing, um, the music, his like just his whole persona, bro, just drew me in as a kid. Like I was obsessed, bro. I remember watching the Stunt 101 video like before school, and I remember like changing my whole outfit to some other like way more hip hop shit with like a do rag and like a fitted on top and I was late for elementary school. It was like fucking fourth grade. But 50 Cent, dog. Like I had uh Get Rich or Die Trying like on bootleg, and then begged my parents to buy me the Massacre, and then they bought me the edited version. And then after that, I didn't ask them to buy me much music. But 50, dog, for sure.
Damn. Man, I don't remember if I talked about it on here, but I definitely begged my parents for a G Unit puffer as a kid. And I think I might have got it at one point too.
I'll never
Um
forget the Christmas, like the sneakers came out, the white joints, like the raw label looking joints. I
mhm.
remember being in Philadelphia, like my father's family, on my father's side was from Philly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'd always go to Philly every year for Thanksgiving and Christmas and shit. And I remember they were sold out in New York, but we went to the shoe store in Philadelphia and they were sitting right there. And I was like, please. And I couldn't open them until Christmas. And then I fucking wore them out, of course. But yeah, 50, dog. Everything. 50, everything. I had the poster, like
Yeah.
CDs, mixtapes, all of that shit. All
So
that shit.
I gotta ask, did you play Bulletproof, the game?
Yes.
See,
Yes.
I never got to play Bulletproof. I'm so mad about it because I remember when the trailer dropped and it's got Piggy Bank in it and it's him in the building and he's just like
Two guns, like
I was
two
like
guns.
that was the hardest shit I'd ever seen in my life.
Bro,
I went back and watched it again.
I
Like,
just saw like somebody had the limited edition game with the
with the
bulletproof vest on the case. Like
yo, yeah, yeah,
what a
yeah.
time. What a time, bro. What a time.
That was the second game. That was the one where they sent him over to like he's like playing a concert in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, and like he's getting like the promoter pays him with like this jewel the promoter pays him with a fucking diamond crusted skull. Like literally gives him a diamond skull. And then the diamond skull gets stolen and him, Yayo, I think like Young Buck and a bunch of people like that's the game. Like the
Yo, he
game is
had
them going
two.
to get they had two. Yeah, it was called Blood on the Sand. I'll never forget it.
Yo,
Like,
see, I'm gonna have to go YouTube that shit when I get off it. That's crazy. I had no clue.
yeah, I swear. Like it
That's
was
crazy.
and they made it a different kind of game because Bulletproof was like a third person. It was kind of like a Devil May Cry type situation, and then Blood on the Sand was like you play Gears of War like
Yeah,
back. So
yeah.
like it was just Gears of War but G Unit.
The first Gears of War on Xbox 360 was my joint. I used to love that game. I used to
Two
love that game.
two was my favorite. Two
Word.
was like I would get a new Xbox if I could get Gears of War 2. Like that game
Hmm.
was everything to me. I actually have my 360 still, but my disc drive's fucked up. I might
Man,
if I could get it fixed, I would go out and just buy Gears 2 and just play it. That game was amazing.
my parents are trying to, well, not trying, they're moving down to Atlanta. And my dad asked me if I wanted to keep my 360. And it's like all messed up. Like the disk drive doesn't come out unless you like wiggle it. Like the faceplate doesn't go back on. And I was just like, I looked at it and
Damn.
I was like, it works, but it's like, do I really want you to lug that down here? So I just told him I told him to get rid of it, man. I was like, man,
That's rough.
yeah, yeah, it hurt.
That's
It hurt.
rough.
That was like 2 weeks ago too. It hurt. It hurt.
Damn.
But I need to
But
find it.
but yeah, nah, man, like 50, just yeah, just like he was every like you can't really overemphasize enough like how everywhere he was at that time. Like G-Unit closed, like
Yeah,
Get Rich was everywhere. Like even though I'm a like I like the Massacre, it's not Get Rich. Get Rich
no
is like in its own it's in its own stratosphere, but like even like I was also like at that time I was a big Game fan. Like the documentary is still to this
word.
day probably one of my favorite albums. Like I remember memorizing Hate It or Love It. I know
I mean,
every single word of that song.
now that I'm really, really thinking about it too, like low key, it might be Dipset too, because when I was young, like all of the older heads was listening to Dipset a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember me and my best friend went and got matching pink outfits and shit. Like
Because of Cam,
that,
yeah.
yes, like do rag with the long pink t-shirt. Like so Dipset too is definitely one of the like the first I had to have I had to just I had to know. I had to know what was going on. Like this is
Right,
before diplomatic immunity type shit. Like they were still on that little mixtape run.
right.
But
Man, like yeah, like to me, my favorite not obvious Dipset project that wasn't like Diplomatic Immunity or Purple Haze or like any of the early mixtapes. I was big on Jewels' album, What the Game's Been Missing. Like
word,
I loved that Jewels album.
word.
Like
That
that
was a
was
good one.
like yeah, I think that was I heard the Whistle song. It might have been on BET. I probably heard it on 106. And I was like, yep, this is like I heard that and I went out and bought the album. I love
Yeah.
What the Game's Been Missing to this day. Great project.
When you said that, I think the title track beat like immediately came into my mind. It's just great. It's
Man,
great. It's
yo,
great. It's a great song.
my favorite beat on that whole album's got to be I think it was the second song. It's Rumble Young Man Rumble. Just
Oh
like
yeah,
the
I think
shuffling drums and
that's
shit.
no, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, bro.
Yeah,
Is
Rumble Young Man
I
Rumble
think
is
that's what I'm
crazy.
thinking of. It's got the horns and shit. I've been running that Jim Jones Diary of a Harlem Summer, whatever that shit's called. The joint with
Oh, yeah, that's the
it's
one
a
with
little later.
right. That's
Summer in Miami's on that joint.
oh shit. That's the album. The cover's like him sitting on the roof of a car,
Yep,
right? Yeah,
yep.
yeah, yeah. I know
That
exactly the
shit
project you're
is
talking about.
that shit is getting a lot of burn right now. Even some odd reason, like it's bringing me back to New York for sure. Cause I remember
Damn.
when that shit dropped too. Like I remember my parents are from various parts of New York. My mother's from the Bronx. My father's from Westchester, but they met in like Harlem or the Bronx, whatever. Don't quote
Right.
me. But like we would always end up in Harlem every summer. They love Harlem Week. They just love Harlem. So I remember when Harlem came out, like when the song came out and being in Harlem and just like it brings me back to that time period of my youth. Like we would fucking go get Popeyes and just sit in the park and just chill with my parents. Just like, you know,
Classic. Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah, crazy shit, crazy shit. So I've been running that album a lot, man. Like recently, like the past month, I've been running that album to the ground.
Wow. I'm trying to remember why that album was on my mind earlier this year because I think one of the homies at Pitchfork wrote a Sunday review about that project, and it made me go
Mm,
back and re-listen to it. And yeah, man,
yeah, bro.
it's dope. I don't know, like all of them at the time were it was yeah. I actually just did an episode of somebody else's podcast about Dipset not too long ago, and just like talking about like that was like that middle school, high school era where like I heard the Whistle song, and then of course We Fly High happened, like
Yeah,
Jim really blew up, like yeah, it was
yeah.
like that was a special time, man. That
Telling
was
you,
a special time.
that's like elementary school. That's like fourth, fifth grade. Like they had everything on lock. Like all of my friends' older brothers was just Dipset fiends. So I just remember being like, I must know what Dipset is about. And you gotta think like the locks is that's like the home team. That's like close proximity
Of
to where I'm
course,
from
yeah,
in New York. So wasn't really a big Locks fan until I got older. But like Dipset, oh my god, he was
yeah,
Dipset fan when I was a kid. Shout out to
yeah.
them, man.
For real, yeah. And
Or
before we move on, speaking of the locks, yeah, like Jada's Kiss of Death came out around that time too, and I was yeah, like I found a physical at a thrift store, and it's like somewhere in my crib right now. I can't find it, but yeah,
or
like I was, like why happened, and I was like, I don't know, like Jada's always been different, but like
amazing.
Kiss of Death was, yeah, like Kiss of Death was like a Bible for me at a period of time. Like
Or
I haven't listened to it in years, but I love, yeah, I feel you. I say all I have to say, I feel you 100%. Like I mean, like I grew up in Jersey, so like
or
every like that was, like even out here in the burbs, it was like that shit hit hard. Like we're not that far outside of New York, so like
right.
all that runoff just shows up here. And like I'm like 20 minutes from Newark, so like we have like all of like it's everywhere. So
Word.
like we caught all that Dipset runoff, all the G-Unit runoff, like it just trickled down to Jersey, you know.
Yeah, that was everything, bro. Like that was everything. That was all my childhood. Dipset and then G Unit, and then whatever else preceded that was my own actual taste. Like not being influenced by my environment,
Right.
I guess. You know what I mean? Then I
Mm-hmm.
grew and was like, all right, what else is out here? Because I mean, shit. When I was in like seventh, eighth grade, like that was really the eye opener. You know what I mean? Because LimeWire and the advent of
Right.
all of that. Because then I was like, oh, there's like, I remember I got like Mad Villainy, the video off of LimeWire, and it took like 2 days to download. And that was like the first time I'd ever heard something that was like new, but that like felt like what like like Tribe and shit like that I was into at the
Mm-hmm.
time. So it's like, yeah, that was like my first entry out of like 50, the game, and Dipset.
Right.
I like Nelly too a little bit when I was a
Yeah.
kid. I like Nelly a little bit when I was
Country Grammar was great.
a kid.
Like to this day, Country Grammar is a great project.
Yeah.
That was yeah, I remember when fucking god damn it. Oh man, I think it is just like the song Country Grammar, going
Hmm.
down, down, baby, low speed. Yeah,
Hmm.
that is Country Grammar. Okay. Anyway,
Hmm.
so yeah, I'm happy you brought up LimeWire and just like expanding. So like before we move on to like you actually starting to make music, like what else were you kind of grabbing as you went through LimeWire and shit?
Man, I remember my homeboy Randall had took my iPod at the time, and he had all of the music. Like he had everything. And I was just like, "Yo, take my iPod. I'm about to go on this Christian trip with my homeboy." We were all like skate rats, like younger skateboard friends.
Right.
And he put Tribe Called Quest, like Jurassic 5, like De La Soul, um, Smith and Wesson, like all of that, like seventh grade. And I remember it was like an 8 hour ride to Rochester, New York. And we ended up going to Canada and getting lost and having to go back. So it was like a 12 or 13 hour bus ride.
Sheesh.
And all of that music was getting so much burn. Like Midnight Marauders, Low End Theory was like, that was my first initial, like, okay, bet this is not somebody put me on, from getting it somewhere illicitly on the internet. And
Right.
then I was like, yo, I came back from the trip and I was like, yo, thank you. How do I do this at my crib? Like I got a computer too. And then he showed me LimeWire and all that, and that was it. Fucking Naville, like video on my computer in my room, like fucking big white, big back computer. Took 2 days to download, and I remember I played it so much, ridiculous. And then shit, I don't want to forget this either. DirecTV used to have these services where you could like text, and like it would show on the bottom of the screen, and it would play music videos.
I
I
kind of
forget
remember that.
I forget what it was called, but like they used to play like Souls of Mischief and shit like that. And I remember like wanting to text in and I couldn't because it would cost money and I would just watch the videos and just watch people talk. This is like AIM time. And Souls of
Yeah.
Mischief fucking 93 till Infinity came on. And I remember hearing that shit and I was like, this is amazing. Like, what is this? So that was around the same time probably of like the LimeWire shit. But that also too. I can't remember the name of the whatever it was when they were doing the the text in with the music video thing, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
super important, bro. Like I try not to forget that because it's there. It's always in the front of my mind.
That's tough. See,
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but that sounds like something that I might have. Because yeah, I think we also had DirecTV for a little bit, and like, yeah, like that sounds like something that I probably would have noticed and like probably put me on to hella music if I'm being honest. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't have any specific memories of it. Like mine were always, like I would like to Mad Villainy. Like I first discovered Doom and Mad Villainy through the Boondocks because there
Word.
was that one episode where they had it was the Let's Nab Oprah episode because they had All Caps, Fancy Clown, Strange Ways,
Right.
and there's one other Raid. Those four songs.
Right.
So like I heard those four songs and I was like, the fuck is this?
What is
Found it.
this?
That was
Yeah.
it. It was a rap. That's to this day, Doom is still my favorite rapper. Like he's
Come on.
mine forever. But
Come on.
like,
I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I fight anybody about it. You don't want to go
yeah,
there with
bro.
me.
Ever. Like yeah. Like but being like as you start to get older, like you move past the LimeWire era, you're kind of taking in all this different music and obviously just growing as a person. When did you first realize that music was going to become more than just a hobby and something that you were like you were going to make it your life and the thing you do?
High school for sure. I always skateboarded like from elementary school up until I don't really skate much anymore, but up until shit out of high school. Um, Skate videos informed a lot of my musical taste too, because it's like a lot of soul, a lot of jazz, a lot of like rock shit. And then when I moved out of the hood for um for high school, like I moved from Mount Vernon, I moved up to Brewster, New York for like 4 years. Legitly, I graduated and moved out. Um, when I moved there, all of the homies were already skateboarding and like they were playing instruments
Yeah.
and like they were into like Nirvana and Alice in Chains and all this like I was already kind of into rock, but it was like skate video rock. So it was like
Yeah.
not really. It wasn't. It was like Thin Lizzy, like fucking like Iron Maiden shit like that. So then when I moved and met them, they kind of informed me to a bunch of other rock, like grunge and shit like that. But they were playing instruments. So they were like, "Yo, why don't you pick the bass up? Like, with two guitarists, like, why don't you just pick the bass up? We could find someone to play drums." So that kind of led into like, "Yo, what happens if we like download this program and try to make beats on the homies' dad's computer?" Or we were like,
Yeah.
kind of picking nugs out of his stash of weed and smoking in the basement. We'd be like, "Yo, what if we downloaded FL?" Because I remember like the homie in fourth grade. His name is Jordan Green. His dad played basketball. He played for the Pacers. I forget his father's name, but he let me know. He was like, "Yo, FL Studio, bro. You could make beats." It's like fourth grade. It's before I even moved to Brewster. I remembered that. I was like, "Yo, we could download a program for free and make beats." So we downloaded FL, and me and my homie went stupid for like 2 summers. So that was like that had to be like 10th grade. Like I'm already like smoking weed. I'm like doing mischievous shit. I was like doing graffiti and shit. But like we were just chilling, smoking weed and shit. I was like, yo, let's try to make a beat. And then we both found cracked versions of that shit like after that. And we were just teaching each other stuff like, how do you do this in the program? Like, how do you do that? How do you do this? How do you do that? And it was over after that. Like I didn't I was late for school. Like almost ain't make it out of high school. Fucking every night I'm up like trying to figure shit out. Like I just remember being obsessed, like actually obsessed. Like once it got to that point, I was like fucking obsessed. Because why would you want to stay up until 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning? Like you got to be up. I would miss the bus every day. Like, I would miss the
Right.
bus every single day. So and then shit, he kind of gave it up. And then mind you, I'm living in Brewster with my parents. So we're like, this is like 2008, 2009. This is the midst of like the housing crisis. So they moved into some shit that they couldn't afford. So everyone's like trying to figure out college and shit. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford or be able to like grade wise go to college. So I was like, So I found like an audio engineering school in New York called SAE. And I
Mm.
kind of convinced my parents. I was like, "Yo, I'm not gonna go to community college or anything. Like, I'll go get this certificate from these people. They're gonna give me a computer and like they help me get a job and all this, whatever." Shout out to them though. That shit was great. But they helped me get into that shit. It was like a 12-month program. And like after that, I was trying to be an engineer, and then that shit didn't work because I was living in Poughkeepsie already. So I'm like 2 hours away from the city.
Right.
And all the studios that were in New York were like, you live too far, like you're qualified, but you live way too far. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna like make music. I guess, and that's like what a fucking Hail Mary ass pass. But yeah, and then like I was going down to school, going to SAE, like trying to make beats in the midst of learning how to like engineer, like actually learning Pro Tools and like the science behind it. And like they had great teachers there. Like they were people who were in the field, but I guess during their off time, they came in and they taught. Dude named AJ Tisson. I'll never forget him. He was one of the greatest teachers of audio. Dude named, oh my God, I don't want to, Gary Lundquist or some Gary Lund something. I'm butchering his name, but fucking amazing teachers, amazing engineers, and they were really serious about their shit. They were cool guys too, but the science behind it, you know what I mean? They were teaching the science of like frequencies and engineering and all the nitty gritty shit that you kind of don't want to hear. When you're like learning how to make beats and like learning these
Yeah.
programs and all this shit. Like, but I'm thankful for that shit for real because it helped. But then after that, there was no engineering shit was going on because that whole shit was shrinking anyway. Like, you
Right.
know what I mean? Like studios, the advent of the big studio was dying at that point anyway. So then I was just like, fuck it, I'll make beats. Then as I was going down to school, I would see people on the train. Like I remember I saw 2 or 3 white dudes with fucking keyboards on the Metro North. They'd have their headphones and they'd be like fucking laptop on their lap and they'd just be like making shit. And I remember I stopped this one dude and I was like, hey man, I make music too. What are you doing? And he told me he made music for TV. And I was like, oh shit. By this time I'm already sampling, I'm already like hip hopped out. And I was like, what if I try to like learn the keys? This was like 2012, 2012 or 11. Boom. Like from there, I was like, all right, bet. Like I want to try to teach myself how to play piano, and then that bled into like Flying Lotus and After One, and like just bigging up all the like overseas producers that I loved at the time, like Eric Lau and Jaisu and all these cats. Whatever. That bled into me making beats from fucking scratch. Like just seeing this one dude on the train who was like, oh, I make beats, I make music for TV. Cool. So
Right.
fucking SAE finishes and now I'm just like I'm gonna make beats, I guess. And this was like in the midst of the SoundCloud beat thing. So it was
Hmm.
bubbling. Like it was a thing. So fucking living close to New York helped a bunch. I just go down
Right.
to the city and just try to like put my name in the hat and figure it out, and people gave me a bunch of chances, bro, and now we're here talking on the phone about fucking music.
Right.
Like,
Like,
I'm skipping a bunch of shit, but I feel like the early
um,
shit is really important. Like
yeah.
that's the main shit right there, the foundation for sure.
Right. That's why I asked, because like that's, like I was going through your backlog, and like, like the first Aux tape comes out in 2013,
Yeah,
just about. And, just like listening, I think I was able to run like four of them before we hopped on the phone today, and just like
right.
seeing the evolution from 1 to 6
Yeah,
is just like, pretty nuts. And of course, like one of the bigger things in that time stretch is like you eventually meet the mutants and join the
word.
academy, and like you and Anakin put out the first mirrors
Mm-hmm.
in 2014.
Word.
So so like you do all of this, you go to SAE, you're figuring out, like you're kind of bringing that more technical, like studious aspect to making beats and making music. You're teaching yourself how to play piano. You're like really you're trying to expand what you're doing already, and then eventually at some point around then you meet Anakin and the Mutants. Talk to me about that and how
Word.
that first came together.
SoundCloud, man, that's the whole everything, bro.
Yeah.
SoundCloud for surely. Like I remember Zumo, was one of my first homies on SoundCloud as well.
Shout out.
Like,
Love Zumo.
come on. But Anakin and Henny were two of the first people to ever buy beats from me.
Mm.
So I remember being just blown away by how good they were. Because I was like, I was working with people, but I had never really met anybody that was that good yet. And I was like, oh shit, they're really, really good. So boom, Anakin bought like a bunch of beats. He said him and Henny like put money together to get that shit.
Wow.
he texted me and told me to tell you what up. By the way, I didn't want to cut off what's going on, but he came back up, so I
Nah.
wanted to tell you.
What's up,
But
Frank?
you're right, right. So yeah, and he said that they pulled money together, bought a batch of beats, and we put mirrors together. I remember he sent me the files. I mixed it. Um, I got my homegirl that was dating my homie at the time to sing on it. Like my Mount Vernon friends met them. Like he knows Randall, the dude who like put all the shit on my iPod. Like so that kind of helped
Wow.
also because like helped bring it together because Randall kind of helped me mix it and like his girlfriend at the time was singing on it. But yeah, they were the first people to buy beats from me, bro. And then fast forward, we became good friends. Like me and Frank just figure out that like our lives are similar, but like opposite. Like we go through the same shit. Like our lives are legitimately the same. It's like I feel like he's honestly my brother. It's weird. Henny's the same way. It's like that's my guy. I've known him for more than 10 years at this point. So those are my brothers. Foisey's the same way. Like I remember Foisey being
Yeah.
at New York beat scene shit and like SoundCloud era. And I remember first meeting him at like some show on some beat shit and he was like, yo, I'm from Connecticut. My name's Foisey. I was like, yo, you're dope. Like you're amazing. Like I know who you are. Like you're fucking this is crazy. Dope to meet you. And then fast forward, like, we all come together to make shit together.
Right. Man. Yeah, like and just so I can say this for myself, just so I remember, the Mutants, it's you, Frank, Henny, Kahuna, Foisey, ULB, Unlucky Bastard,
Yes, sir.
Gray Matter. Who am I
You're
forgetting? That's 7 people.
Obliv,
Oh, Bliv. Okay. Okay.
and Psycho Sid.
And Psycho Sid. I
Yep,
I always forget Psycho Sid. I'm mad.
my
So it's
man
the
Sid.
nine of
It's like
y'all.
fusion dance on a tab. Anytime you think
Come
of
on,
fusion
bro.
dance on a tab, think of Psycho Sid.
I was
Come
just
on.
re-listening to Holly Water not too long ago. Love that
He
song.
is he sent me probably one of the best beats I've heard this year, like just randomly out the blue, like yesterday. And I'm like, bro, we're gonna do something with this. My guy is really
Man.
a master. I don't know if you heard the Silk Money shit that was going on, but he did one of the diss tracks. Did the
Which
beat for
one?
the second joint.
Okay,
Second joint.
yeah, because Khalil did the first one. Oh yeah, I was fully
Yeah.
tapped in with that.
Yes. Shit is a silent assassin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Sid is a silent assassin. But yeah, those my brothers, man. I've known everybody for a long time. Like Bliv, I've rubbed shoulders, been privy to, met him for the first time years ago, like in New York, just on some beat shit.
Right.
So
Man.
I'm thankful for them dudes, man. For real.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
excited. I'm excited for motherfuckers to hear what's what's in the tuck.
Yeah, because I know y'all got the album that's out in like not even 3 weeks at this point. It's like the 20th, right?
Supposedly, there's a tentative date. I'm not. There's a tentative date.
Felt, felt,
They
felt,
just went
felt.
to LA to wrap shit up. So I know
Fire.
it's 20 something, 20 something.
Okay.
But
Cool. Well, I mean, I haven't heard, like all I've heard is the EP and like the single y'all put out. So I haven't heard shit.
oh,
So
say less. I got you.
I'm
I got
ready.
you. I got you.
I'm I'm
I hit you with some joints. I hit you with some joints before we get them all polished up. I hit you with like two or
Thank
three.
you. Nah, I appreciate that because yeah, before I want to like talk about like the aux tapes and your drum kits and all that shit, but I wanted to ask about Soda because you produced Soda on the Talk Soon EP, and
Word.
I love that beat so much. It's like
Thank you.
like I yeah, because like I just like earlier this week I just thought to myself like I need to go re-listen to Talk Soon because I feel like I listened to it when it came out, but I wasn't really like rinsing it like that until like really recently. It just
Yeah.
dawned on me like let me just go run it again, and like because it's like I could live inside the beat for Soda. It's just
Thank you,
it's
bro.
real fucking smooth.
Thank
Like
you.
I, I just want to know how that one came together. Like how did you do that? How did you do that,
I
bro?
want to say that joint's a gospel sample. Um,
Sounds like it. Very organy. Like
yeah, yeah. Um, shit. My process is usually just make a bunch of beats and then go back and bounce them out and flesh them out and finish them and add things if need be. Like I want to say that joint was just the loop, and I came back and was like, I hear a kick drum on it, so I just kind of added kick drum, and that's that right there. But they love that joint. We had another joint that I think was gonna be on there, but they all ended up smoking it, so we used that joint. But
yeah, it's I don't know. There's just something about it that's very like it's I feel like the lounge jazz cliche of like describing a beat like that is like super duper overused, but it really does feel like a like if like it really does feel like a lounge jazz type shit in
a
like
little
a
hazy
church
bar, a little
with
hazy, right?
like not even a bar, like it's literally just like people convening in a church with like an organ, and like it's kind of like those aspects of the beat kind of like fight each other a little bit because like it's hazy and dank, but it's also kind of got this like gospely feel to, like it's
Word,
that's the that's the type of shit that really makes me think about like damn, like what is this song doing to me right now, and just
word.
like hearing them all rip it apart, like it's just fire, bro. That's
Thank
all
you,
I
bro.
got. That's all I
Thank
got.
you, bro. Everybody's in a good space right now, man. Everybody is performing at a very high caliber right now.
Right.
All of my brothers keep my skills very sharp. It's very hard to keep up with a Gray Matter and a Foisey and a Psycho Sid and a Obliv and a
Man.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Unlucky got a lot of snackers on the album. That's
I'm ready,
all I
man.
that's Unlucky did the most on the album, if I could let that slide.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Another silent killer, bro. Like so I'm thankful for them, man. They keep my skills sharp, bro.
Yeah,
Surely.
that's fire. And I mean, like your skills were already sharp enough before they even came into the picture, or else y'all wouldn't be working the way you are.
Word.
So because I've been running the aux tapes a lot, I want to like I said before, the first one dropped 2013. The second one or no, excuse me, the latest one, 6, I
Yeah,
believe was last year.
yeah, it was last year.
So like there's been 6 of these. Walk me through. You don't have to walk me through each individual one, but like walk me through from when you started with Aux Tapes and how you feel like you've evolved over the course. Because like you put out 6 in a decade, and
Word.
like that's a lot of evolution. So like, what's the you know, like what do you feel is here we go. What do you feel has changed the most about you as a producer and beat maker in those 10 years? And what's something that stayed the same about you that you really appreciate?
Okay. First, I'll say it started out like Aux Tape started out as just like a let me get some of the beats that didn't make the full length project idea. You know what I mean? Like whatever didn't
Right.
make the cut, let me throw it on here.
Of
Um,
course.
but then it ended up evolving into something totally different because by the fourth one, it was like a theme to it, and that one was graffiti.
Right.
So by then I was like, all right, like it's cool to just throw a bunch of beats out, but like by then I was already knee deep in like the how could I bring my like influences, like the things that I like into this arena. But definitely from like the first one to the sixth one, it's like the themes kind of come into play and like the sound kind of changes a little bit because the first one was what 2013. So
Mm-hmm.
that's, you know, way grittier, way dirtier, you know. Um, Probably primarily records as well. I probably wasn't sampling off of YouTube that much. Um, I want to say too, like I was approached to put that out with a record label at the time that I didn't know was a college project for
Ooh.
like a bunch of kids, and by the time it disbanded, you know, like their fucking college course was over, like the album was still out, and I had no like reporting. I had no clue what was going on, and my friends had to tell me like, "Yo, you have a song that has like 200,000 plays on Spotify. Do you know that?" I was like, "I don't even
Jesus.
know I'm on Spotify." I was like, "That's I had no clue." Okay, cool. So the advent of like the fucking business of music, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A lot of things from then changed, but like the first one was definitely just like, yo, I had other tapes that were coming out at that time, but I wanted to say like when I thought of it, I was like, yo, this is just like a serious tape where I could just get beats off that didn't make the cut that I still think are hot. So that was definitely that. But yeah, by the fourth one, it was already like a theme. Like we had the graffiti, you know, graffiti theme popping. I fucking grew up doing graffiti. I was doing graffiti by the time I was like 13,
Right.
12, up until I was like fucking 16, 17, and I got arrested and real life happened and I was like, all right, probably should stop and focus on this facet of hip hop.
Real quick,
Um,
I gotta ask now that you said that, is is the little signature you put on all your is that your tag?
so no, but my name is a derivative of the tag.
Okay.
So the name that I used to go by would be Elf One. So I just took the one and the E and just made it one thing. But definitely like the logo idea was like a graffiti hand script, but I didn't want to make it a fucking graffiti hand style. But
Right.
something that made sense, just a one line thing that just made sense. I did it a bunch of times. Shout out to Fresh Daily, um,
Yeah,
Beat
shout
House,
out. Wow.
Beat House CEO, rapper, uh, fucking extraordinary man. Um, he was the one that was like, "Yo, I was doing it a bunch already on paper, like," and he was like, "Yo, that's your logo. Like, do that a bunch of times. Like, make sure you get it correct, like how you want to see it. That's your logo."
Mm-hmm.
Helped me digitize it, and it's been the one ever since. But that was, yeah. The name comes from graffiti. The little hand scripting I would want to say comes from the graffiti background. But shit, by the fourth one, we had already done 73, which I think was like the first theme beat tape album that I was like, yo, what's the theme? I saw Watt Stacks and I was like moved. Like I was just blown away that I'd never known about this, never seen. I'd always known about Woodstock. You know, I just fucking blown away. I was like, this is crazy. So making beats that kind of, I guess, were inspired by that shit at the time, and then just pulling from the movie and trying to just make it feel black as fuck, like gospel joints. You know what I mean? Like we all have been to church. We all have moms and aunts and uncles,
Yeah.
and deaconesses. We all got church in our
Yeah.
family, so I
Yeah.
had to bring that essence to what was going on there. And then from that, the fourth Aux Tapes came, and I was already knee deep in the theme thing. So that's why the sixth one is just like the art of the chase, like records. Like why do we go and fucking spend 3 hours in a record store?
Yeah.
You know, shit. There was supposed to be a B tape that was gonna come out this year, but the Mutant album kind of took presence of that.
Yeah.
The next one will probably be the last one, and then I'm gonna move on to some other ventures. But I'm gonna do a tribute to Rhapsody,
Beautiful. Wait, Rhapsody.
the basement,
Okay.
Rhapsody, the
Oh, Rap
basement.
City. I thought
Yeah,
you said
yeah,
Rhapsody. Okay, got
Rhapsody.
it, got it,
That
got
would
it,
be
got it.
dope. Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah,
Rhapsody. I was like, that's cool as hell. Like, well, yeah, I was like, that's a place. But anyway, yeah, tribute to Rap City, all
yeah.
about it. So like, I love the idea of themed beat tapes. There aren't very many themed like that follow a theme that I can think of a ton. But like 73, I'm mad I didn't even bring that up before you did. But like 73, like that's
Yeah, that
like
was
the
the first one.
concept behind it, beautiful. Like I love and like I love the idea that it just like it was inspired by the documentary. Like that's just like
Yeah,
that's
first time I saw it.
that's the that's the intersection that Real Notes exists to probe. So like like
Straight up,
it's amazing. It's amazing that you did that. Like I love
straight up.
I love the way that project sounds and like the way like it really does kind of have like a psychedelic like feeling to it that I think matches what was going on at Woodstock at that time. So yeah,
Thank you.
that project's super fire.
But definitely, I want to say like Madlib, all of the theme joints, the movie score joint. He has
Right.
the Dilla tribute joint. I
Beat
love those
conductor, rock
tapes.
conductor, all that
You know what I
stuff. Yeah.
mean? Those themes, Onra, the Chinese series. I might have butchered that. He has like 3 or 4 beat tapes where he went back home to his homeland and got records and made it like a whole Asian theme beat tape. Like, and it just feels like that. The
Mm-hmm.
cover, the music, everything about it felt great, and I loved that tape when I was first like coming up.
Yeah. Preservation also did a tape that's similar to that called Eastern Medicine, Western Illness,
Yes,
where he
yes.
was out in Hong Kong and like all the record. Yeah, I'm Nicholas F's on it. But yeah,
Even Malik Abdul Rahamin,
uh-huh.
a great curator when it comes to music and a theme, like a themed album or beat tape rather. Killer. Definitely an inspiration for that too.
Super tight. What's it called? Oh, so I mean like all of this is you're doing a lot at any given time. You're working on your own shit, you're working on mutant shit, and then just like all of this comes together. And then talk to me real quickly about drum break takes and just like putting out drum kits and taking that step, because like like that's like the like that's a step for a producer to take, to be like because like you've done it, Apollo Brown's done it, Overcast has done it, like you got
It's
those. So like
it's been a
what is
beautiful it's been a
yeah.
beautiful undertaking, man. Like my homeboy, when I lived in Poughkeepsie, he was moving to Colorado with his family, and he couldn't take his drum set, which is still the drum set I have now. And he was like, "Yo, can't take this shit. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Of course I do." So I was kind of already working out of my parents' attic, so I just put it up there, and it was perfect. It sounded dead. It sounded like just perfect. Um, yeah, and then I just sat down, bro, and tried to teach myself the drums. Um, I had the homies from high school that I was playing instruments with. We're already way past. I was like 4 or 5 years out of high school at this time. They would come through to my parents' house, and we would jam for hours, and that definitely helped inform my like sense of timing and just confidence on the drum set. And then, just time, bro. Like sitting down with that shit. That shit is it's a crazy instrument because you feel naturally, you feel like you want to do it a certain way, but it's not the way that you're supposed to do it. One,
Right.
and then two, you kind of gotta like just break your brain. Like you have to split all of your mind and your limbs into four parts at least, and
Yeah.
figure that shit out. But like once I got confident enough to like record the shit, I was like big into Daptone Records.
Yep.
Like
I know Daptone Records.
I saw how they were doing that shit in a fucking house in Brooklyn, and like bare bones, 8 tracks, keeping it analog, but like not too many mics. And I was like, dude, I'm just gonna record some drums. Boom. And I just kept doing them. My skill level gets better. Um, fucking information, just gain more recording information, shit like that. So that's really what's kept me doing them. But ever since it's blown up, like I don't want to be that guy, but I don't remember there being such a big proliferation of sample makers. You know that like it was already drum kits. I'm not doing that, but like there wasn't the drum broker thing. I don't think was that big when the first one came out. Like there wasn't a big space for that yet. Like I know Frank Dukes, like the Kingsway Music. There's like a producer that works with Drake. He had a. This is probably around the same time as that, but like drum breaks and like that kind of I didn't see it.
Right.
I remember J Zone had one that came out around the same time, but like that was the only person, and that was like a big influence. I was like, this dude used to rap, and now he's fucking playing drums at a very high level. And I remember I bought like one of his records. I was like, man, it sounds so good. I want to do this. Like I want to do that. So
Yeah, no, I just my brain shorted out. You said J Zone, yeah, like those J Zone drum records, like he put out like the last one he dropped. I can't remember what it's called, but like he's an incredible drummer. Like
amazing.
like he just completely shifted, and those records are fucking crazy.
Great. Even
So
just like the Do Rights, the band that he has, just watching him turn into a session musician. He's playing for producers. He's playing on TV. It's like, that's beautiful, bro. He's like, this dude
yeah, it's
has
tough.
records. This dude's a producer. Like, that really inspired me. That and Daptone really, really inspired me to be like, all right. Like, I was already playing instruments and stuff, but that, like, on some recording and, like, documenting it and, like, trying to make it a file in my hand, like, those guys were, like, very instrumental into, me wanting to do that for sure.
So before I ask you my last question and we wrap this up, how like doing these kits, like how has that inspired the way, or how has that influenced the way you make beats now? Has it influenced the way you make beats now? Because I feel like it feels like there's a different, like not that different of an approach, but I feel like making stuff for a kit is slightly different than you just kind of like sampling and collaging to your heart's content, but
Definitely.
like where do those things intersect, and or do they intersect for you?
I'll say it's helped me think of collaboration in a different way, because
Mm-hmm.
like even in like the early like SoundCloud days, it was always like collab, like let's collab, and I'm not that guy. Like we could collaborate like if we meet or something and like fucking we're cool, like we have dinner, like I've always
Yeah,
been
yeah.
that dude. Like it's never been that easy for me. So the drums help me like kind of get away from like the this is mine, this is me, this is, and helps me step into a collaborative um you know situation with the music. Um, it's brought my shit places where I never thought. It helps. It helps find new producers that I think are dope too. Like people will cop and or they'll get it somehow or whatever, download it, and they'll make a beat and tag me, and it's dope. And then I'm like, okay, now I know who you are. Fire. So it's definitely helped collaboration. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's different, like
Yeah.
kind of going from that space where you're just like, oh, like you made this dope beat and like people appreciate you for that, and then just like kind of like it's giving back it's giving back to the, you know, it's giving back and paying it forward. Like that really is like a next step that I'm, you know, like, I mean, people have been doing this forever. You know, it's not like you're the first person to make a drum kit, but like it's something that I notice happening among like people around our age a little bit more. And it's just like I never really thought about it that way until I was like looking through a couple of the kits and just being like, you're really just like giving people the tools and the stems to like make their own shit, you know, like it, like just like seeing, you know, like seeing the lattice work in front of you will really put it all into perspective. And it's just like, you know, like it's like in the not to, I can't believe I'm about to do this. It just makes sense. Fuck it. Like like me writing the book I wrote earlier this year and kind of like hoping to give writers tools to survive this awful industry. Like, you know, like it's kind of like, you know, like I didn't realize is what I was doing until my publisher, Austin, I love you, Austin. Shout out to Austin. Fucking like put it in those words to me. And he's like, this is for them. And I'm like, yeah,
I never thought about it until
you're
you said it that
right.
way. Like I never thought about it as giving back to really anything, you know. We all have drum kits, like everyone from the time I started, Ninth Wonder drum kit, J Dilla drum kit, like cool. But like I never thought about it as like a way to give back. That's definitely right about that.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like there if people want it. And if people respect you enough, which obviously they do, you know, people will tap in with the drums. And that's drums are, I mean, you know, they're not essential, but they are important, you know, and people like drums. Some people don't like drums, but drums are drums, you know, like it's the foundation for a lot of shit. So
it is a very hot topic in the hip hop world.
Yeah, bro.
It's like all good. Make whatever you want. Make whatever feels good to you.
Son, I remember when I was at my first like real official professional like a rap journalist gig with my man Jerry Barrow at Watch Loud. Rest in peace to fucking Watch Loud. I played him a Ka song. I forget which one it was.
Shout out to Ka.
But yeah, man, for real. But like Thief Next to Jesus is fucking crazy. It might have been Honor Kill the Samurai era. I could be wrong, but I played him a song, and he made it about halfway through, and he looked at me, and he was just like, "Where the fuck are the drums?" Like he didn't understand. Like he didn't get the fact that this guy doesn't do drums like that.
Yeah.
You know.
So like that's my parents right now. Like my parents are, they're hip hop. Like they were there, like they were in the park. Like my mother's from the Bronx. Like they have all these stories. They know these people, like Sha Rock, all these. They just have a wealth of information. That's a whole nother conversation. But like
for real,
when I bring them music and I'm like, yo, check this out. That's their first thing at all times. They're like, where's the drums? Like, where's the flow? Like where? I'm like, think of it as once I brought them the jazz, like, you know, relativity. I was like, yo, like, you know, kind of think about it as jazz. It gives them more freedom to be more interwoven rhythmically. They got it. You know what I was like, oh, I kind of get that now.
Okay.
Cool.
See, I'm happy you brought up the thing about parents because I didn't mention this before. My dad's also from the Bronx. He's about to turn 80 next year. He was around our age when rap first started. So like he's watched it grow, like literally from its inception. And like one real quick story, he always tells me about how he would first see people breakdancing like outside his building, like me and my best friend's mom. My best friend Solomon, his mom Pam. Shout out to the Walkers. I love y'all. He would say like the first time he saw somebody breakdancing, he thought they were having a seizure on cardboard. he tells me that story all the time. He told Pam, like, Pam, those boys they're having seizures out, so we're gonna call the ambulance. And Pam was like, no, they're breakdancing. Like that's what that is. And like he yeah, once again, like wealth of stories, like that once again, like that's a whole conversation we could have off camera. But like, yeah, I get it. You know, like hearing those stories that fuels me, man. Like that's like having that firsthand account is like it's priceless. You can't Yeah,
I
it's
never,
amazing.
I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade
Ever,
it for the
bro.
world, bro. Come on, they have the most amazing stories and just perspective on shit. Like I'm like, all right, cool.
Right. It really will put everything in it's kind of crazy. Like anybody
Word.
listening, like if you got parents who are like up there in age or like were around, like just please tap them
Ask them,
for that
yeah,
shit.
ask them,
Please.
ask them,
Please.
ask them, ask them what it was like in fucking 89, 91 when they were outside and they were doing the weird dance moves and 808s and all that. Just ask them. Ask them.
Freaknik and shit.
Word. Ask them. Because you might be surprised. For real. You really might be surprised.
Honestly. Man, I feel like this conversation could go for like another 3 hours.
Man,
But
right. Right.
damn. But okay. Okay. I wanted to ask about this before, but what can people expect from the Mutant album? Because y'all have been
We
I mean like
keeping
I know
Holly alive, man.
there it is.
Holly was on his deathbed. Holly was nah, let me stop. Just a crazier approach, bro. Like this is really what we have always dreamed about. Like we and being in the group, I think we've met up one time. Like we never had the means to even do that shit. So now like bunch of shit going on. We've fucking met up together and made the bulk of this album together. Like it just feels like like a growth. Like it feels like a different album. It feels like we're all in a different place than where we were from Chapel Drive for sure.
Right.
Definitely from Hollywood for sure. It feels like a totally different place. Expect some fire videos.
Cool.
Um, the other single's really good. Sid did the other single. Um, yeah, that's it. Ain't no crazy features. Quelly the only feature. So
Cool.
yeah,
Love to hear that. Yeah, that's yeah, I mean like being in a position where I've like gotten to see y'all just grow has been like especially you, bro. Like just like seeing the
thank you.
like even like going through Chapel Drive and like I'm like I know you produced the first song on Chapel Drive.
First and the last joint.
The
First
first
and the
and the
last
last,
joint.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so. But just like that and like you and Morph's project, like Foliage from a couple years ago, Middle
Right.
Passage is one of my like No Gas, Middle Passage is one of my favorite beats of the last like 5 years. Like
Thank
when
you,
that
bro.
like honestly when that song dropped, like I ran it back like 80. I don't even know how like when I'm that's like perfect like dusk. It's about to be nighttime like music. I love that song.
Thank
But
you.
it's been a like I know Morph's not Mutant Academy, but either way, like it's just been a pleasure watching. It's been crazy watching y'all. But okay, I'm getting ahead of
Thank you.
myself. Last question, E1, if your life was a movie, what would it be about?
If my life was a movie, what would it be about? It'd be about all of the dope ass shit that I had to go through to get here. None of the weird shit, because there's been some weird shit too. But all of the cool shit, like all of the cool shit, you know? I've seen so much. I've done so many things. It would be all of the cool things. The traveling, the fucking hip hop ass parents. It would be one of those. It'd be like the coming of age hip hop movie. Like, Mom, I want to be a fucking I don't know, I want to be a breakdancer. Nah, I don't want to be a
Yeah,
breakdancer. I'm going to be a DJ. And then he's like a DJ. And his dad wanted to be a DJ. So he's like
right.
real happy that he wants to be a DJ. He's like, you're keeping the legacy strong, son. I couldn't do it. You're doing it for me. Like, that's what the fuck yeah, that one right there.
There you
Boom.
go.
That's
It
it.
it be it so it'd be dope without the cryptocurrency.
For sure. For sure. For sure. Hip hop coming of age story.
There
Thank
it
you,
is.
son.
We honestly need more of those. We don't have enough
Facts.
hip hop coming of age stories. So yeah, like
Facts.
please. But
Facts.
thank you, bro. Like I
Thank you.
said
No,
before,
thank
this was
you.
like nah, man. Like I said before, it's really been beautiful watching like you and the rest of the mutants like kind of find yourselves and come together at this moment where like y'all are together and showing like y'all grew so much apart and have come together to just like make something work. And it's
Facts.
like I can't wait to hear it. I know people can't wait to hear it. Like it's but even like outside of all of that, like just like thank you for the music, thank you for your perspective. Yeah,
Thank you,
man. It's just always cool to see you around. So just like thanks for being cool. I don't know. Like
Same, man. Thank you. Come on, bro. I at the Pitchfork, you know what I'm saying? When you were at Pitchfork, always knew. Then once I figured out you was doing your own shit, I was like, let me tap in to see what's going on over here. Then once I figured out it was like, you know, movie and music and just like culture and visual culture and audio culture, like how does that come together? Where's the intersection? I was like, this is great and we need this. And thank you. You know what I
thank you,
mean?
bro. Honestly.
We
Like
need documentarians and historians and people that make sure that the stories are told like you. So thank you.
thank you, man. Yeah, nah, like it's like I've been saying this a lot lately. I'm just a vessel. Like this shit saved my life on
Word.
some not corny or on some corny shit. Fuck it.
Fuck
This shit
it.
saved my life. So
Word.
like it's like
Word.
this is, you know, like this is how I give back. This is the least I could do.
Thank
Like y'all make it easy to want to follow this shit. So I'm a you know, I'll be following the trail wherever I can.
Appreciate you, gang.
Come on, bro.
Thanks for listening. Shout out to y'all for making it this far. And shout out to all the black people listening too, because y'all really impeccable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend to come through next time. 1.